this is kind of amazing. This kind of ties together because the World Economic Forum kind of idea and the globalism nonsense that you've been hearing nonstop. Newsmax is on that tip too. And one of the fascinating things about the globalist idea is that America, up until Russia's invasion of Ukraine, was moving away from globalism at an enormous clip. We've been shying away from it for a long time. And quite frankly, the war on terror made us even, stiff arm it even further because there was a mix of crowds that were against it. One was on the right wing, there was this kind of like, we shouldn't be the policemen of the world. And on the left wing is that we don't need to be in other countries trying to create democracy at the end of a barrel of a gun. Both of those are the same take on the same circumstance, or they're different takes on the same circumstance, but it appealed to a wide swath of people. And so we started to extract ourselves. We've been doing it for a long time. And, both, I guess, Obama into Trump and then into Biden, that move has been ongoing for quite some time. And part of the reason why Russia has been making the moves it's been making, or China's been talking about things the way they have about, building military bases on islands in the Sea of Japan and in the South China Seas, and why they've been kind of dicking around with the shipping lanes going towards India and around Australia and all that kind of stuff. The reason that all happened is because the United States has been tapping back, because we haven't been being forceful in those areas again. And by us removing ourselves from the space, it's not that that space just remains empty, that America was the bad guy in there, and if we hadn't been fucking around, nobody would be fucking around. The reality is that everybody fucks around in those areas. And the question becomes ultimately is who's the better monster in theory? Is America the better monster, or is China the better monster? Is America the better monster, or is Russia the better monster? If one monster protects you and the other one wants to eat you, they're the monsters where the wild things are, and then there's the monsters in Godzilla or Pacific Rim, right? Still monsters, I guess. Kind of different. Anyways, you're watching Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide. Give a thumbs up, like, and subscribe to the show. Support the show in any way you can. Patreon.com/Hal Sparks. If you're a Patreon member, when I do live shows, I post them there when they allow me to tape them, so you get to watch a free comedy show for that. And if I'm ever in your town, you get to come to a show and bring a guest for free, and that's kind of cool. And only do it if you want to support the show. That's all. That's all I ask. For no other reason. Just if you want to help out, help out. Same thing with Super Chats on YouTube, points on Twitch, and of course subscribe there. Please don't forget to subscribe at twitch.tv/Hal Sparks. And then of course if you're on Facebook, you can use stars to support the show. Just fire away. Just throw some stars at me. Some stars, put in some stripes if you feel like it at the same time. All right, now, commercial over. So, the title of this one is fucked up. Now, Newsmax is gross, and Stankfield's always been a problem. And they're, of course, putting this whole, globalist takeover. There's, Klaus von Wolfgang Landfusted from the World Economic Forum with a rotting, he's got a halo of scorched earth around him. Globalist takeover. WHO treaty a direct threat to sovereign nations. Yikes. The WHO is gonna tear it, but keep in mind, read that one, and now look at the title of this fucking video. Hold on. Biden floods America with diseased immigrants, breaks our borders. And I believe the guest on this is Michael Savage. Is he on this?
Who has been sounding the alarm over the globalist attempted hijacking of the world is, of course, the host of the Michael Savage Show podcast, our good friend, Dr. Michael Savage.
I don't know what he's a doctor of, but I would like to tell you a little bit about the man you're about to watch. Michael Savage will shock no one. That's not his real name. His real name is Michael Weiner. His real name is Michael Weiner. Let me repeat that again. All right. So Michael Weiner changed his name to Michael Savage. And I have to say that if my last name was Weiner, I might do something similar. I'm just saying that if my name was Michael Weiner, I might make some alterations. And Savage would definitely cross my mind as a potentially useful replacement, let's just say. The only difference between me and Michael Weiner is that I would use the word savage to replace the name Michael. And I would tour around as Savage Weiner. You're welcome. By the way, if there's a person who looks less savage than this dude, I don't know who they are. He looks like an extra on Mary Tyler Moore.
Dr. Savage, welcome.
I admire what you've just done in such a few minutes. It's so...
Oh, thanks for posting a clip where he and you both reference something that we as the viewer haven't seen. Now I'm supposed to go watch that other fucking clip too? Forget about it. I didn't cut this clip. You did.
complicated what you said, Grant. I would need at least an hour to expand on it. I'm going to try and do this in bullet points. The fact is, medical tyranny has been used from villages to nations and now to United Nations to control populations. I've studied this for years.
Yes, he studied medical tyranny for years. Many a time he's found himself on the receiving end of things that, quite frankly, normal men could not possibly hope to understand. Hold on one second. I have to make sure that... Let's go. Opening something up, beg your pardon. Loop back audio. Did this go in here? Hold on. There we go. Hopefully that worked. Okay, nope. Hold on.
Moon River.
There we go. Now it works. That was my concern. That we have some respect for what he's gone through in his life.
Drop your shorts and bend over, Mr. Babar.
Medical tyranny is nothing to laugh about.
You using the whole fist, Doc?
So,
Whew. Thank you, Doc. You ever serve time?
all right. So, medical
30
tyranny.
years ago, I tried to publish a book called Immigrants and Epidemics.
30 years ago, I tried to publish a book called Immigrants and Epidemics. I don't know why it didn't take off. My goodness. With a title like that, how does it not rocket to the top of the New York Times bestseller list? Disgusting Mexicans, Part 2. Good fucking guy.
Already been a best-selling author. My publisher said, I love the book. We can't publish it because it offends immigrants. Now,
No, because it's a bigoted piece of shit.
fast forward to now. The UN is headed by a group of do-nothings. The UN should be dismantled. I've said so. You've said so. Has the UN stopped the war between Ukraine and Russia? No.
Well, they aren't responsible for stopping wars. What the fuck does that mean? How do they do that? Have they stopped the war?
Will the World Health Organization stop the next pandemic? Absolutely not. In fact, it's probably going to spread the next pandemic.
Sure. Well, yeah, I'll just take that at face value.
Who is the head of WHO? This guy Tedros with that weird face.
Okay. The black dude. Uh-huh.
He is a hard
With his what? He's got a weird face, does he? What's weird about his face?
Maoist from Ethiopia. He came from the far left Tigrayan People's Liberation Army in Ethiopia, Grant. Communist Ethiopian political party, Tigrayan People's Liberation Front.
Uh-huh.
He is now running the WHO. Now let's jump to America.
Yeah, that's the guy with the weird face. That's what he's saying. This guy. By the way, just for the record, this guy right here, and this guy, by agreeing with him, think that this guy has a weird face. So,
We have a man in charge of DHS, Mayorkas, who in just a week will destroy what Donald Trump did to protect America. He will destroy it. We're going to be flooded with 500,000 to 1 million new illegal immigrants pouring over our borders. How many of them, Grant?
oh, that's the Remain in Mexico policy in terms of the rules about COVID.
Will be infected with COVID? No tests.
Yeah, they do test them. Again, I don't know what this idea is. Like, they're supposed to test them before they cross the border illegally. They come into the country and they're not even tested until they're apprehended and tested. Nobody even thinks for a second that people didn't get in illegally while Trump was president and slip right by Customs and Border Patrol, go out into the country, live with someone, move in someplace, any of that shit. That nobody believes for a second that didn't happen at all. At what point it's like saying, none of the murderers we catch were caught while they were planning the murder.
Tuberculosis? No tests.
Yes, we're not testing them for tuberculosis.
Plague? No test.
Plague? Yes. Why aren't we testing people for plague at LaGuardia?
Pouring into America. How does Mayorkas get away with this, Grant? Enemies.
But that was always true, though. We weren't testing for any of this shit before COVID. How did Trump get away with it up till 2020, till March of 2020?
In the past could not have gotten away with this. Now let me jump cut.
No, but they did. Nobody got away with anything. It's a standard that didn't exist.
To another image.
Yeah, how many of them are coming in with testicular cancer? At what point, when they come in, are we not checking them
River.
for everything?
You using the whole fist, Doc?
I mean, welcome to America.
Drop your shorts and bend over, Mr. Babar.
No, that's a babar. B-A-B-A-R. That's two. Yeah, but not right next to each other. I thought that's what you meant. Sorry, whoops, hold on.
Jump for one last point. As again, this is a subject that's near and dear to my heart. I'm going to take the listeners of your great show back to the 14th century.
Jesus Christ. Way to be up on it. Oh, you mean before vaccines?
The Mongols.
The Mongols. Oh, we're going to the Chinese built a wall, aren't we?
Hurled plague-infected cadavers into the besieged.
Cadavers? Ew. Ew. That's much nicer than a cadaver. Cadavers. Pardon me. Pardon me, mate. I'll be in the drawing room playing the grand piano. Oh, cadavers.
Crimean city of Kaffa, which started the Black Death throughout Europe. You say, what the hell does that have to do with what he's talking about? Well, Mallorca.
Yes, I was thinking exactly that.
Is not throwing plague-infected cadavers into America.
Yeah, that's true.
He's bringing COVID and TB-infected immigrants into America.
Well, no, he isn't. The idea is that some people will cross in and they will have TB or COVID. And one of the best ways that you deal with that is, and this is true, by the way, of any plane that lands. So according to this logic, according to Mickey Weiner here, I guess in theory, the FAA, Delta Airlines, is doing the same thing the Mongols did to Crimea.
How different is that than the Mongols hurling plague-infected cadavers over the city walls?
Well, it's I don't know. You'll have to ask Delta, sir. This is a Wendy's.
These people are crazy.
Well,
Yeah. Yes, a 14th century analogy in the modern times. I don't know why we weren't. How come we weren't testing everyone for TB who's thinking about sneaking into America? And I'm
These
sorry,
are
I got lightheaded.
ideologues who hate America. Or
They're ideologues. I beg your pardon. What? They're a what?
people are crazy.
Well,
Okay.
These are ideologues.
Ideologues. Any relation to Idi Amin or Stephen Edie? No?
Hate America, or they're totally
Oh, rip Abe Pagoda. Okay, this is the worst Abe Pagoda impersonator I have ever seen, for the record.
insane, or both. And I will stop right here.
Well, yeah, stop right there because you've said so little and yet used so many
What
words
have
to
you
do
said?
it.
Remember, China built the Great Wall of China to keep
Well, yeah, just so they had naming rights.
the Mongol immigrants. And now we have Majorca.
Well, not immigrants. They weren't immigrating. They were soldiers. They were warlords. They were physically. It wasn't just to stop. They weren't coming there for jobs. These were not economic migrants from Mongolia.
And Biden taking our border apart, letting infected immigrants run over.
Well, I blame Trump's wall because obviously, if he'd have built a big flat wall, it'd be one thing, but he built a slat fence and they could just walk up and cough disease right into the country. Why didn't Trump think of this?
America like cock.
They're going to come up there. They're going to put their face right in between the bars. Of course, it'll be hot, so their faces will burn. And, of course, there's going to be flaking flesh full of, obviously, zombie diseases coming off as well. And then they're going to be like, I can't get my face out. And they're going to be coughing tuberculosis into America. Into America? I'm fed up with you, man. I'm fed up.
Roaches.
Like what? Wait a minute. Like what?
Immigrants run over America like cockroaches.
Oh, they're like cockroaches. There you go. Holy shit. Newsmax. Making the headlines. Immigrants are like cockroaches. And I'm shocked. And you're saying 30 years ago you couldn't get a book like this published? Was it They're Like Cockroaches? Was that chapter 4? Fuck you. What? Look, Stank can't even. He knows it's fucked to nod at this. Watch him try to. Like, he's so used to nodding with whoever the fuck's there that he's like, oh shit, I can't. Don't nod. Whatever you do, don't nod. You want to nod, don't nod.
Immigrants run over America like cockroaches.
Dr. Savage, I'm glad you brought up the connection to immigration.
Yes, the connection to immigration. He brought up the connection to immigration by saying they're running over America like cockroaches. That's how you bring it up.
Because it is about open borders. I mean, look, George Soros has an open border society. He wants the entire world to be open.
It's not called the Open Border Society. It's called the Open Society. It's about societies being open. Not open to other societies, but open within themselves. Oh, God.
Borders. And then
I don't know a lot about the Open Society. You'll forgive me. I am, unlike people think, I am not getting a check from them. I feel very disappointed. The CIA isn't sending me any money at all. And I have not gotten my cut of Hunter Biden's paintings strictly for calling out the fact that there is no Hunter Biden laptop. I am doing that gratis, simply as a public service.
it's about big government ruling everyone. Let me play a clip from you from the UN.
Well, apparently it's not. It's not about big government ruling everyone. Apparently, the illegal immigrants aren't being ruled by big government. They're being allowed to run around like cockroaches, according to your guest. I guess big government is so big that it can't even see things that are so small. It's kind of like it's like the Death Star. A couple of X-Wings are able to get in there and cough tuberculosis right down a ventilator shaft.
Secretary General, which really spells up a lot of what they're actually after here. Roll this.
At this perilous moment, we need to build trust through dialogue and diplomacy.
Ugh. Trust, dialogue and diplomacy. This is fucking gross.
Inclusion, equality, and the focus on fighting humanity's common enemies, COVID-19, poverty, and unrelenting climate crisis.
Right. You have to know, folks, that apparently Stankfield and Sergeant Wiener over here need you I expect you, I suppose, to clutch your pearls when you hear something like that.
Inclusion, equity, and they throw in COVID-19, the China virus. Dr. Savage, the last word.
Yeah. They didn't even mention cockroaches.
I don't have a last word. I have to write a last book to cover this subject, Grant.
Dude, then practice. You don't have the gift of brevity? You don't have something pithy like they're running over us like cockroaches? You have to write a last book. Who do you think you are, Mark Levin?
Doing a job that's Herculean in its task. Summary is this. Who is being led by a plant put in there by China? Never forget, Tedros was put in there by China. Tedros comes from Communist Ethiopian Party.
Yeah, you said that part already.
In America, we have Mayorkas, who came from Cuba, who has torn our border apart and is now...
Okay. So he came from Cuba to destroy America. The Cold War never ended. Don't you understand? You expect me to talk? No, I expect you to die, Mr. Bond. Come back here, Wiener. I'll give you what for.
Next week, going to flood America with illegal immigrants, many of whom are infected with COVID.
Yes, tuberculosis, COVID, or whatever. And apparently there's this new disease that makes you repeat yourself even when given a chance to say something fresh and new.
And tuberculosis.
Did he mention tuberculosis? Because after all, a man who dresses like it's 1937 probably is more concerned about the White Plague than anything.
Nightmare, and I don't know where the Republicans are. We're worried about two morons slapping each other at the Oscars. That's America's biggest problem.
Well, no, I mean, obviously, other shit is going on. It didn't grind the whole fucking country to halt. It wasn't the fucking OJ trial.
Slapping each other, that took over the news now for 3 days. All the liberals forgot the war in Ukraine. That was their big issue.
No, he didn't. You know I know. I see. I know what the problem is. Sorry, folks. See, the problem is apparently Captain Wiener and Stankfield can only hold one thought in their brain pan at a time. And so they're projecting that outward onto you, and they can't imagine whatever they see in front of them. It's just squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. That's welcome to Captain Wiener's brain.
Well, of course, now you're on another...
Well, of course. Well, of course.
It's near to my heart. Sadly, there are more people that are interested in watching TMZ than watching programs like this or listening to your radio program. That's the problem.
Yeah, the problem is you guys don't have any ratings. It's terrible. Hey, I feel you, man. You know, I only started this, this live stream about 18 months ago, something like that, and I'm up against people who've been on for years or have an entire industry behind them, podcasting networks feeding them cash, big movie money where they could purchase their own viewers and make it look like they have more subscribers. And I hear you, Stank. And I understand that even when I'm doing my show from a hotel, I still have better production value than you do. And that's gotta suck. I mean, you, Wiener, apparently in front of, I guess, a piece of furniture that was built into the wall of the apartment he moved into because the person who was living there was killed and nobody wanted to live in the murder apartment. So he just put his chair and his desk right over the stain and went right on making radio. But it is sad that people are more interested in people shit than in what you think is important. I know it's terrible.
Right now is we don't have enough engaged people. Dr. Savage, as always, I appreciate you laying it all out for us.
Laying it all out there for us. by all of it, we mean the same two fucking things over and over again. This was titled "Biden Floods America with Diseased Immigrants, Breaks Our Borders." I don't know why it wasn't called fucking cockroach. I don't know. Do you have any idea? You guys know why? Why he didn't just call it fucking cockroaches? I'm mildly shocked at the disgusting level, but Stankfield usually has to dance around this stuff. The people at Newsmax, even Greg Kelly, have to tap dance around this kind of shit. Apparently it's not working, so they had to bring on Michael Savage to just say it out loud. Because this is what they all think. This is exactly who they are. Well, thanks for being with me today, by the way, guys. Today's show zipped by, and it was long. I mean, I know I started a little late, but I appreciate you being here. It's Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide. Like, subscribe, share the show, tweet out some of the clips when we post them, that kind of stuff. Whatever you want to do to help the show, I greatly appreciate it. Live shows coming up. News to follow. The 27th, I believe it is, at the Viper Room. ACK, the Ace Frehley tribute band, and Nerd Halen will be performing together. I will also be getting up at the end of the night for the jam to do "I Stole Your Love" Kiss song with a mix of musicians, which should be a good time. And then on the 14th at the Whiskey, I will be doing a couple of songs that night for the next jam night. Also, let's see. And then in May, I've got some. I will be at the Laugh Factory in San Diego. That'll be a good time. Posting those dates soon. That just got booked. And then we're adding dates all the time. So I will see you. Honestly, I'll see you tomorrow.